Salutations. Stalt here as war correspondent of the great conflict now seizing these lands. While I boast no loyalty to either army, I've endeavored to embed among their ranks to expose the truth and brutality of this conflict. After the Colonial defeated the Deadlands, I parted way with the unit I had been assigned and headed southeast to the Umbral Wildwoods, where I heard the next offensive had just begun. Day 1. As soon as I arrived, a warden officer handed me a pistol and pointed me toward the foundry. He told me that this one town would be the deciding factor in controlling this region, and that it must be taken at all costs. The scenic path wound lazily through the autumn leaves, and the birds chirped happily our marching chant, a wonderfully deceptive precursor as to the horror that awaited us beyond the tree line. We threw everything we had at that town, and when we ran out of bullets, we used our hands. The Colonials had gotten there first, and placed defenses in front of their refineries, ensuring that we were walked unknowingly into a meat grinder.
Gotcha, bitch!
What few of us survived the primal melee limped back toward Stray, carrying the wounded, and preparing for the Colonial offensive that was sure to come. Day 2. With our supply lines intact, we began the long push back down that winding road toward the foundry, while Casper's militia and the 501st marched south toward Dredgefield. The bird's song was replaced by the growl of our truck's engine and the percussion chorus of hammers thudding away to build defenses as we advanced. The once peaceful forest was now a hunting ground, as shapes flitted between trees and were shortly followed by the crack of a rifle or concussion of grenade that cut short the life of yet another faceless soldier, determined. Our engineer crew advanced through the gunfire until finally the shelling began. With no proper artillery of our own, the path forward was paved in our dead. Through sheer force of will and flagrant disregard for our own safety, nightfall saw us within the walls of their forward defenses. Day 3. As dawn broke on the third day, so did our momentum. The foundry's front gate came tumbling down, but as it did, the interior killing field was finally revealed to us. We would go no further on this day. Everything the Colonials had, they poured through that gaping, opened maw, pushing us back time and time again. Every inch of earth we stole, they wrestled free from our grasping hands with their superior supply of demolitions. When our armor fell, they brought forward their own to disastrous effect. Without any way of taking down the enemy's half-track, we were sitting ducks, desperately trying to hold the line and give our foes no chance at purchase. Night 4. For one whole day we battled over the gates at the foundry, until finally our scouts found a weak spot along their defenses and we flanked the town proper. Unrelenting, the enemy reorganized, using the streets and houses as natural defenses. There's no proper recounting the horror witnessed on those gore-soaked streets. Haggard, and most of us wounded, our fire support finally came within range of their town hall, and with it, our final chance at victory. Day 5. It cost more than we ever could have imagined, but finally, we claimed the foundry. We would spend the next day or so cleaning the dead from the streets, sending broken sons back home to their mothers, and fortifying our new graveyard. Word reached us during the night that our friends in the militia had also captured Dredgefield and planned to work their way west towards Sentry. At the same time, Our forward scouts informed us that while Golden Root was nearly undefended, the town of Border Watch to the far south was unmanned and played a much more significant role in the colonial supply lines. However, as enticing as the new targets sounded, there wasn't a man among us that had the strength or will to advance. Day 6. The decision was made. We struck out west past the Steely Fields and used the long country road to bypass the colonial defenses entirely. During the night, our logistics had pulled through big time, bringing forward armor and trucks that we would use in our southbound attack. At each intersection, we dropped off small crews of engineers who would lay down foxholes and secure the road to our backs, creating a safe path for further supplies if needed. Under cover of darkness, we struck. With little defenses and skeleton crews remained to protect the colonial supply line, were quickly severed and struck down, clueless as to what had just happened. Seizing this opportunity, our logistics crews quickly fortified the town, and we advanced our armored convoy to the edge of Thunder Road. Day 8. We were finally ready. All of our forces were consolidated. Casper's militia and the 501st pushed west through Sentry and joined us at Thunder Crossroad. There were murmurs of an enemy counterattack brewing to the west of the Foundry, so we quickly stomped out Golden Root, crushing any chance they had of maintaining a meaningful offensive. When you're on the winning side, you start to lose sight of the pain inflicted on others. The enemy become inhuman, and all that matters is victory. To that end, we made our final descent on Thunderfoot, the last bastion of colonial forces, blowing a chasm in their walls and advancing a wall of armor no force could have repelled. The tracers cut through the night like thousands of blinking fireflies, shattering any will to fight the colonials had left and tearing through their ranks with no regard for the loss of human life. Whether the Wardens had reclaimed their ancestral land in the Umbral Wildwoods or they had aggressed on the colonies didn't really matter. What does matter is that now that the conflict here is finally over, the Earth can begin to heal, and the populace can try again to rebuild their lives among the countless scars of war. As always, thanks for watching, guys, and stick around for more content.